Welcome to Decoralia House, where creativity and inspiration come together to transform simple spaces into magical experiences. Today, we're going to dive into the enchanting world of fairy houses, those tiny, whimsical creations that bring the charm of a fairy tale straight into your garden or home decor. Imagine crafting your very own fairy house using nothing but natural finds like twigs, moss, pebbles, and leaves, along with recycled materials that you might already have lying around the house. Not only is this an affordable and eco-friendly project, but it's also a delightful way to unleash your imagination while adding a unique touch to your surroundings. Before we begin, don't forget to subscribe to Decoralia House, hit the like button if you love fairy tale vibes, and leave a comment sharing your thoughts or even your own fairy house creations. Your interaction helps us continue creating more inspiring home design and decor videos for you. Now, let's step into this miniature world of creativity where every twig can be a roof beam, every pebble a stepping stone, and every leaf a roof tile. The magic of fairy houses. Fairy houses are more than just tiny structures, they embody imagination, storytelling, and an appreciation for the beauty of nature. Building a fairy house allows us to reconnect with childlike wonder and the idea that fairies might just dwell among us. Each design carries a narrative, whether it's a moss-covered woodland cottage tucked between tree roots, or a colorful recycled teacup transformed into a magical hideaway. What makes fairy houses so appealing is how they blend creativity with nature, creating something whimsical yet deeply rooted in the environment. By using natural and recycled materials, you not only craft something beautiful but also contribute to sustainability, proving that art and eco-friendliness can go hand in hand. This is why fairy houses continue to fascinate crafters, gardeners, and home decorators around the world. They allow you to tell a story through design, with each pebble or leaf symbolizing a detail in that story. Whether displayed indoors as a charming decor piece or nestled in your garden for a touch of woodland magic, these fairy houses always manage to captivate. Gathering inspiration from nature. Before building your fairy house, it's essential to immerse yourself in the beauty of the outdoors. A short walk in the park, a stroll through your backyard, or even a trip to the forest can spark endless ideas. Nature provides the perfect materials: twigs with interesting textures, smooth river stones, pine cones, dried flowers, acorns, bark, and moss. These items don't just serve as building blocks, they become the essence of the fairy house, adding authenticity and charm. For example, bark can be turned into rustic walls, moss can form a lush green roof, and twigs can easily be fashioned into window frames. Inspiration can also come from observing how nature arranges itself: fallen leaves layered over each other, tiny mushrooms sprouting in clusters, or vines weaving organically around branches. Incorporating these natural patterns into your design helps create a fairy house that feels real, as if it truly belongs in its environment. By gathering inspiration directly from nature, your fairy house will look less like a man-made craft and more like a magical dwelling naturally woven into the landscape. Choosing your recycled materials. Recycled materials are an essential part of fairy house crafting because they open up endless creative possibilities while promoting sustainability. Everyday items like glass jars, tin cans, old teapots, or broken ceramics can be transformed into fairy house bases. Bottle caps become windows, popsicle sticks turn into miniature fences, and fabric scraps can be stitched into tiny curtains. Cardboard, which is often discarded, works perfectly for creating sturdy walls, while plastic bottles can be cut and reshaped into imaginative roofs or towers. What makes these recycled items magical is their second life. An old teacup isn't just waste anymore, it's a fairy's living room or cozy nook. Mixing these materials with natural elements creates a delightful contrast, blending the man-made with the organic. It's also a fun way to teach children and family members about upcycling, showing them that what we often throw away can actually become something beautiful and meaningful. With recycled materials, you not only save money but also craft with a conscience, ensuring your creativity aligns with care for the planet. Planning your fairy house design. Before you begin assembling, it's helpful to visualize or sketch your fairy house design. Think about its purpose. Is it a rustic woodland cottage, a magical tree stump dwelling, or perhaps a whimsical tower made from recycled jars? Planning helps you decide where to place doors, windows, roofs, and decorative elements. It also ensures you select the right combination of materials to bring your vision to life. If you want a natural look, focus on twigs, bark, moss, and stones. If you prefer a playful and colorful fairy house, use painted recycled items such as bottle caps, ceramic shards, or old buttons. Don't worry about perfection. The charm of fairy houses lies in their irregular shapes and handmade appearance. Planning doesn't mean rigid structure, it's about guiding your imagination while leaving room for spontaneous creativity. Often, as you build, you'll discover new ways to use a piece of bark or a broken cup, and these discoveries will make your design even more unique. The planning stage is where dreams begin to take form. Constructing the base and walls. Every fairy house needs a strong base and sturdy walls, even if it's tiny. Depending on your chosen design, you might start with a flat stone, a piece of wood, or even an old container as the foundation. Stones and pebbles can be glued together to form strong walls, or bark and sticks can be layered like natural siding. For recycled options, cardboard cutouts work wonderfully when combined with natural cladding. The idea is to balance structure with beauty, making sure the fairy house looks organic but is also durable enough to withstand handling or outdoor placement. Adding tiny windows cut from bark or bottle caps gives the house character, while doorways can be created using twigs bent into arch shapes. As you build, you'll notice the structure slowly coming to life, transforming from loose materials into something that resembles a magical little home. It's at this stage that your vision becomes tangible, and every placement of a stone or twig feels like adding a chapter to your fairy tale. Crafting the roof. The roof is often the most eye-catching feature of a fairy house, and it's where you can let your creativity shine. Moss makes a lush, green covering that looks alive and magical, while overlapping leaves or bark strips give a rustic, woodland charm. If you want a recycled touch, consider cutting plastic bottles into shingles, or using aluminum can strips to form a shiny, metallic roof that reflects sunlight. Pine cone scales are another brilliant option. They can be glued one by one to mimic traditional roof tiles. The roof not only protects your structure but also defines its personality. A thatched moss roof creates a cozy woodland vibe, while a ceramic shard roof looks artistic and playful. Some crafters even create whimsical towers with conical tops made from recycled paper or fabric. Whatever materials you choose, the roof becomes the crowning glory of your fairy house, signaling to anyone who sees it that this tiny dwelling is special and full of imagination. Adding doors and windows. A fairy house isn't complete without charming doors and windows, the details that make it feel truly habitable. You can craft doors from small pieces of bark glued together, popsicle sticks, or even recycled cardboard cut into tiny arches. Bottle caps or buttons can be used as window frames, and you can cover them with thin fabric scraps to mimic curtains. If you prefer a natural touch, twigs glued into square or round shapes work beautifully. Some fairy house makers even add miniature hinges or beads to act as doorknobs, giving the impression of functionality. Doors and windows are the elements that invite curiosity, making viewers wonder what kind of magical creatures might live inside. They also add storytelling potential. Perhaps the round window belongs to a woodland fairy who loves stargazing, or the bright red door hints at a fairy who adores color and cheer. These small details turn your project from a simple craft into a whimsical home full of character and personality. Decorating with natural elements. Once the basic structure is complete, it's time to decorate and breathe life into your fairy house. Natural elements such as moss, pebbles, acorns, dried flowers, and pine cones add authenticity and charm. A pathway of tiny pebbles leading to the front door instantly creates a welcoming look. Sprinkling dried flower petals around the base suggests a fairy garden in bloom, while acorns and small pine cones can be arranged as outdoor furniture or decor. Moss not only looks enchanting but also blends the house into its surroundings, making it appear as though it grew naturally in place. Decorating with natural materials also strengthens the connection to the outdoors, allowing your fairy house to feel like a true extension of nature. It's these finishing touches that elevate your design from a simple structure to a magical miniature world, making it irresistible to anyone who encounters it. Adding whimsical recycled details. Recycled details bring playfulness and individuality to your fairy house, turning ordinary waste into extraordinary treasures. Old keys can become garden gates, broken jewelry pieces can be transformed into shimmering decorations, and glass bottle shards can act as stained glass windows. Tiny scraps of fabric can be sewn or glued into miniature rugs, curtains, or blankets for a cozy interior. Even an old thimble can be used as a fairy's flower pot, while corks might become stools or tables. These recycled details not only make your fairy house unique but also encourage you to look at everyday objects differently, sparking creativity every time you encounter something that could be repurposed. Mixing recycled elements with natural decorations creates a house that feels both magical and modern, blending whimsy with sustainability. It shows that imagination knows no boundaries and that beauty can be found in the most unexpected places, even in what others might consider trash. Creating a fairy garden setting. A fairy house becomes even more enchanting when placed within a carefully designed setting. By arranging moss, pebbles, miniature plants, and twigs around the structure, you can create an entire fairy garden. This setting tells a story and makes the fairy house feel like part of a larger world. You might design winding pebble pathways, a tiny pond using a small dish of water, or a miniature bridge crafted from sticks. Recycled items like broken dishes can act as garden walls, while bottle caps can be turned into tiny stepping stones. The surrounding environment amplifies the magic, giving the impression that fairies could step out of their homes at any moment to tend their gardens or enjoy the scenery. A fairy garden setting not only enhances the house visually but also provides a creative space where you can keep adding details over time, making it an evolving project full of wonder. Painting and finishing touches. While natural textures are beautiful, a splash of paint can add personality and make your fairy house stand out. Non-toxic acrylic paints work well for adding color to doors, windows, or decorative accents. You might choose earthy tones to keep the design rustic, or go bold with bright reds, blues, and yellows for a more playful look. Adding painted patterns such as vines, flowers, or magical symbols can enhance the fairy tale atmosphere. For finishing touches, consider sealing your creation with a clear outdoor-safe varnish if you plan to keep it in the garden, ensuring durability against weather. This stage is all about personalization and expression. Whether you prefer subtle detailing or vibrant color, painting transforms your fairy house into a one-of-a-kind piece of art. It's the final brushstroke that completes the fairy tale and makes your creation truly magical. Indoor versus outdoor fairy houses. One of the joys of fairy houses is their versatility. You can design them for indoor display, where they serve as charming decor pieces, or for outdoor placement, where they merge seamlessly into gardens, yards, or patios. Indoor fairy houses can be more delicate, focusing on artistic detail since they won't face weather conditions. Outdoor fairy houses, on the other hand, need sturdier construction and weatherproof materials, such as stone, varnished wood, or sealed cardboard. Placing a fairy house in your garden not only delights children and visitors but also attracts birds, insects, and sometimes even curious pets. Indoors, they can be placed on shelves, mantels, or as part of seasonal decor, blending effortlessly with your interior design. The choice depends on your style and purpose, but either way, these fairy houses carry the magic of storytelling and creativity into your space. Why fairy houses are perfect family projects. Crafting a fairy house is more than just a creative activity, it's an opportunity for connection. Families can work together, with children gathering twigs and moss, adults handling glue and cutting, and everyone contributing ideas for decoration. It teaches children about recycling, the beauty of nature, and the joy of creating something with their hands. For adults, it's a chance to relax, reduce stress, and rediscover the playfulness often lost in everyday routines. The process itself becomes a story, an afternoon of laughter, imagination, and shared creativity that results in a magical little home you can all admire. Over time, you can even build entire fairy villages together, expanding the world and deepening the fun. These family projects create lasting memories and tangible symbols of imagination, making them far more valuable than store-bought decor. Conclusion: bring magic into your home and garden. Fairy houses remind us that magic can be found in the smallest corners of life, especially when we use creativity, nature, and recycled materials to build something beautiful. From gathering twigs and moss to transforming old teacups and bottle caps, each step brings us closer to a world of wonder where imagination thrives. Whether you choose to display your fairy house indoors as part of your decor or outdoors in your garden, it will always spark joy, curiosity, and admiration. We hope today's video has inspired you to start your own DIY fairy house project and discover just how rewarding this craft can be. If you enjoyed this journey into the world of fairy houses, don't forget to subscribe to Decoralia House, like this video, and share your creations in the comments below. We'd love to see what you come up with. Thank you for joining us today, and remember, a touch of magic is never far away when you let your creativity guide you.